Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Goodbye, Mr. Chips. Written by James Hilton. Chapter 13. Read by Muhammad Afzal for second year students. The war years. The first shock and then the first optimism. The Battle of the Marne. The Russian stream ruler. Kitchener. Do you think it will last long, sir? Chips questioned as he watched the first trial games of the season, gave quite a cheery answer. He was like thousands of others hopelessly wrong, but unlike thousands of others, he did not afterwards conceal the fact. We ought to have finished it by Christmas. The Germans are already beaten, but why? Are you thinking of joining up Forrester? Joke. Because Forrester was the smallest new boy Brookfield had ever had, about 4 feet high above his muddy football boots. But not so much a joke when you came to think of it afterwards. For he was killed in 1918, shot down in flames over Cambrai. But one didn't guess what lay ahead. It seemed tragically sensational when the first old Brookfieldian was killed in action in September. Chips thought when that news came, 100 years ago, boys from this school were fighting against the French. Strange, in a way, that the sacrifices of one generation should so cancel out those of another. He tried to express this to Blades, the head of schoolhouse, but Blades, 18 years old and already in training for a cadetship, only laughed. What had all that history stuff to do with it? Anyhow, just old Chips with one of his queer ideas, that's all. 1915. Armies clenched in deadlock from the sea to Switzerland. The Dardanelles, Gallipoli, military camps springing up quite near Brookfield, soldiers using the playing fields for sports and training, swift development of Brookfield OTC, most of the younger master gone or in uniform. Every Sunday night in the chapel after evening service, Chatris read out the names of old boys killed together with short biographies. Very moving. But Chips in the back pew under the gallery thought they are only names to him. He doesn't see their faces as I do. 1916. The Somme battle. 23 names read out on Sunday evening. Towards the close of that catastrophic July, Chatris talked to Chips one afternoon at Mrs. Wicket's. He was overworked and overworried and looked very ill. To tell you the truth, Chipping, I'm not having too easy a time here. I'm 39, and unmarried, and lots of people seem to think they know what I ought to do. Also, I happen to be diabetic and I couldn't pass the blindest MO. But I don't see why I should pin a medical certificate on my front door. Chips hadn't known anything about this. It was a shock to him, for he liked Chatris. The letter continued, You see how it is. Ralston filled the place up with young men, all very good, of course, but now most of them have joined up and the substitutes are pretty dreadful on the whole. They poured ink down a man's neck in prep. One night last week, silly fool, got hysterical. I have to take classes myself, take prep. For fools like that, work till midnight every night and get cold shouldered as a slacker on top of everything. I can't stand it much longer. If things don't improve next term, I shall have a breakdown. I do sympathize with you, Chief said. I hoped you would. And that brings me to what I came here to ask you. Briefly, my suggestion is that if you felt equal to it and would care to, how about coming back here for a while? You look pretty fit, and of course, you know all the ropes. I don't mean a lot of hard work for you. You needn't take anything strenuously, just a few odd jobs here and there as you choose. What I would like you more than anything else is not for the actual work you would do, though that naturally would be very valuable, but for your help in other ways, in just belonging here. There has nobody ever been more popular than you were and are still. You would help to hold things together if there were any danger of them flying to bits. And perhaps there is that danger. Chips answered breathlessly and with a holy joy in his heart, I'll come. End of chapter 13, read by Muhammad Afzal for second year students.